Welcome to the podcast, Well to Do. You are watching a show that's going to help you have abundance in everything that you need to do to stay well. I'm Andi Lew, your host, and every show we have a fantastic guest who's usually an expert in an area of wellness. Now, before we begin, we must say thank you also to Aries Tech, who help us have EMF-friendly zones, electromagnetic frequency, and the radiation that surrounds us from your phones, tablets, laptops, microwaves. It can really impact on your cellular structure. We're made up of water, and can you believe that the radiation actually it affects you? So that's something to think about as we enter today's show as well. So thank you to Aries Tech, who's actually going to gift our guest with the Flex, which can help to harmonize, not block the EMF frequency. And on that note, I would like to say that if you did want to get one yourself, Andi30 is a discount code. You get 30% off. It's fantastic. But something that will actually help you on a frequency healing level is water. And that's why I'm so excited to introduce, or should I say water for those Americans listening, Kenneth Guoin. Do you like that, Kenneth?
Yeah.
You're
I like the way you say water better than I do.
Water? Okay,
Yeah.
you say water.
Water. I'm from the Midwest.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, this is your gift. And
Yeah.
also, I would just love to say thank you so much for your company that you co-founded, Ophora Water or Water.
Yes.
And Ophora's been around for 15 years. You're out of Santa Barbara, Montecito area, or should I say Carpinteria area,
Yeah.
for those who don't know the entire Californian coastline,
Yeah.
but absolutely gorgeous place.
Yeah, it is.
And you know everything about how water doesn't just hydrate. Ophora water actually heals. And that's crucial to understand because water holds frequency too.
100% for sure. So yeah, I've been in this space for about 35 years. So water's all I've ever done. I'm told I have 4 water signs, whatever that means. So
Well, you're a Cancerian, so
yeah.
am I.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fantastic. So yeah, you love the water.
Yeah. So so basically I have 4 patents on this process. It's a complicated process to make this water. We have to start with nano pure water. So the first thing that we do is really super purify the water. And then we integrate stable and bound oxygen to the water. So this is truly a functional water. And in my opinion, really the only real functional water out there in terms of its being nano pure and highly oxygenated.
Let's break it down for the lay people. Nano pure. So nano means small or tiny.
Yeah. So basically our water, during our water making process, we filter the water down to 0.0001 microns. That's really small.
That's nano.
Yeah, that's nano. So that is nano. And it's interesting because the patent process is I have to start with nano purified water in order to hyperoxygenate it. Water in its purest form is called the universal solvent. You might have heard that before, but
Very spiritual. I love it.
Yeah. So what that means is that water in its purest form wants to absorb anything it comes in contact with.
Mm-hmm.
That's how the Grand Canyon was made over millions of years. So
Amazing.
So water in its purest form wants to absorb anything it comes in contact with. So the water molecule actually pulls our oxygen molecule into it. So when you pour a glass of our water,
Mm-hmm.
you can actually put it on your nightstand. In the morning, it'll have the same amount of oxygen in it.
Yeah.
And there's no other water. Most hydrogen waters or oxygenated waters, when you open them, there's nothing there.
Right.
Just gases off. Whereas our oxygen is actually bound and stable to the water.
For the layperson who's listening to oxygenation of water, I'd love to describe that and deep dive into that because, I mean, when I drink Ophora water, it literally glides down my throat without my throat constricting. So the muscles would normally, if I'm drinking something that's not so pure and it's not oxygenated or Ophora, the throat muscles would constrict. Now, this is something to note because it's almost like the body's innate intelligence sort of reacting to something that it doesn't like.
Right.
Whereas this is just sliding right down. Hydrating is one thing, but as we say, the healing part, like how is it actually absorbing and being assimilated by the body as this is happening?
So with Ophora water, you may be hydrating on the first time in your life on a cellular level.
Yeah.
Because this water is so pure.
Yes.
And the oxygen helps your body to absorb it. So, we're mostly water. And it's interesting because your body knows where when people always tell me, I'm drinking all your water and I don't seem to I should be peeing more. And what's happening is your
Yeah.
body's craving the water and it's actually you're pulling the body into your cells.
Right.
So you're hydrating truly on a cellular level. For many people, it's the first time.
So tell
So,
me then why oxygenated water is the only kind of water that hydrates on a cellular level and the other one's not touching sides.
well, yeah. So when you were talking about the smoothness of the water it's very smooth and light, very light on your palate. So again, it just absorbed by your body better. And the first place water goes, for instance, when you get up in the morning, that's the best time to hydrate, of course.
Yeah.
And we recommend putting some fresh lemon in our water first thing in the morning. And, it goes right to your brain. So, you've had brain fog before, or if
Mhm.
you're slightly dehydrated,
Yeah.
you're kind of walking around in a haze because our brains are, if you think about it, they're about the size of an acorn.
Right.
And if you dehydrated them, so first place water goes is your brain.
Right.
And
And it's amazing how many, there was a study done in my book that I gave you, Connected, how many Americans are actually mistaking their thirst mechanism for hunger.
yes,
I think it was like
yeah,
69% or
it's
something like that. And they're reaching for food instead of water. But then if they're not having Ophora water, then they're not even being satiated.
right. So, I mean, most people are, first of all, are not drinking enough water. There's a lot of people who don't drink any water. I mean, I've
Hmm.
run in, people will tell me I don't like water.
Well, no
Until they've
wonder.
tried our water, and then they actually find that they do like water
Yeah.
and they can drink it and they can hydrate. But if you think about it, we're the only species on the planet, think
Hmm.
about this, that drinks other things other than water. I mean, all the animals are drinking water, which is true of days in past. If you go back to biblical times, they were either drinking water or wine. I mean, there wasn't too many other options,
No,
right?
that's right. And I
So,
remember when I was young, because I used to get teased at school, you're a health food freak, and the contents
yeah,
of my lunchbox would be spilled out and I'd be pinned to the ground. My grapes would be squashed on my face, laughing and everything.
yeah,
I'm the last one laughing now because I look fantastic for my age, and all
yes,
of those guys look terrible.
that's right.
But, the health food freak thing was interesting because mum would only say, if you're thirsty, drink water. There's nothing
Well,
else.
your mother was right.
Yeah.
So, and most people are not drinking enough water, and it's so important because it's really the best way for your body to detox. And
Yes.
I see these kids that are drinking nothing but energy drinks and sodas, and
Yeah.
that's going to cause problems down the road, no question
Well,
about
I mean, at the basic level, wake up, hydrate with water, Ophora water if possible,
it. Right,
room temperature if possible,
right.
allow it to go to the nervous system, the brain, and recharge and on a cellular level start to cleanse. Then that allows the healing process. And you have a healing story where you witnessed this firsthand with your own operation and you fast tracked that healing.
Well, there's two ways. So Ophora is really all about oxygen, and there's two ways two modalities that we have. Our drinking water, of course, but we also have hyperoxygenated hot tubs and spas that we market. And what we've discovered is our hot tub. When you come up, I've invited you up to soak in our spa.
Yeah, I can't wait. Thank you.
So the water in our spa is actually the same. It's the same water as our drinking water. You can actually sit in our spa and drink the water.
And so you're bathing in something that is super pure. And obviously, our pores open up. That's our largest organ. And so now the entire body's being
Yes. So
hydrated.
again, you're going to hear me say over and over, water in its purest form wants to absorb anything it comes in contact with. So when you're sitting in our spa, that water is literally sucking the toxins out of your skin. The first thing you notice after a 20-minute soak is you're squeaky clean. You've never been so clean.
Fantastic.
And at the same time, when when it's drawing all those toxins out of your body, you're uploading all the pure oxygen. So two ways to absorb oxygen with Ophora: drinking the water, of course, and then soaking in it.
Well, I do loathe to soak in a spa or a hot tub, they call them in America, with
Yeah.
the chlorine. I
Yeah.
mean, think about that going into your body.
Exactly. So the other thing, when people come up and soak in our spa, it's really the first time that they've ever totally immersed in absolutely pristine, pure water.
Yeah,
I tell most people, don't go near a public spa, just stay away from it.
right. And it's not even like the diseases that might be in there. It's me, I'm more scared of the chemicals, really.
Right, right. So yeah, it's totally chemical free. And again, for a lot of folks, that's the first time they've ever sat in absolutely pure water.
So tell us what happened when your scar healed so
So
quickly.
I had, I was a sailor. I'm from Michigan. I had way too much sun all my life. And I developed some pretty gnarly skin cancer on the
Right.
side of my face. I think you've seen the photos.
I did. It was a
It was
big stitch.
it was pretty nasty. So I immediately I've been in our spa or hot tub, literally bleeding, and the healing process is just amazing. In 5 days from that initial scar that you saw, I mean, it was completely healed.
Yeah.
So
No lotions and potions, just the body doing
no,
innately what it's designed to
yes,
do.
it was just the nano pure water's drawing the toxins out, and my face is absorbing the oxygen. You know, it was truly amazing that I healed so quickly. The doctors were astounded.
And then they would have had to be converts, really, of
Well, you know, they had a hard time believing it,
that's
but
right.
yeah. So
You know, I had situations like that too, where I, spoke to doctors about wellness ways, and it's just not their way of thinking.
no,
So they're not
no.
trained to think in the way that the body is completely connected, and this is how it works to
Well,
detox.
what's amazing about so oxygen is your oxygen saturation is a really good indicator of your overall health. And
Right.
you've I know you've had a child, so you've had your oxygen tested in the hospital. Anything above 95% saturation means you're fairly healthy. Anything above 95, 96, 97, all the way to 100, it makes a big difference. I'm 75 years old. I run 100% all the time. That's because I'm drinking this water and I'm soaking every day.
Wow, you look fantastic too.
So I'm super hydrated.
Yeah.
And so anything back to the saturation, anything if you're below 95% saturation, that means you have health issues going
Hmm.
on. And a lot of times cancer. So
Yes.
most disease, as you may probably know, is hypoxic, which means particular cancer, it grows, thrives, and survives in a
Acidic.
non-oxygenated
Yeah. An
environment.
acidic environment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you can keep your oxygen levels elevated, your chance of getting sick, mold issues, or whatever are significantly reduced.
So, I mean, let's dial it back then to drinking quality water like Ophora and then perhaps needing to pee less or,
Yeah, because again, you're hydrating at a cellular level. The water, your body's putting that water to use.
yeah.
And I hear it over and over from people. They're going, "My gosh, I'm drinking all this water and I'm not peeing nearly as much as I thought I would."
And the use is, and it's quite incredible because if we understand that our body is like 85% water, let's say,
Yeah,
did you know that so too are plants and the foods that we eat? They're the same ratio.
same way,
And can also the earth itself is the same water to land mass ratio. There's this really profound connection of all life
100%.
matter, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So then when it's being put to use, we think about how that might be working for plants, animals, the earth itself. Why not give our pure water body and spirit body, the same, I guess, environment to function the way it's designed to?
Yes, and so where does oxygen come from? 80% comes from the plant life in the oceans, the other 20% from the rainforest. So, and there's both of those are under attack.
Hmm.
So if you think back in prehistoric days, everything grew really big, right?
Yeah,
Because the oxygen levels were so much more elevated.
profound.
Like right now, we're breathing 21% oxygen. The rest is pretty much nitrogen.
Profound.
And it's with the threat to the oceans and the rainforest, that's just dissipating a little bit.
Yeah. So we have to do all these things, I guess, to be as adaptive as possible to whatever is going on.
That's right.
And I always say that this kind of quality water is not only crucial, but it's our birthright.
It really is.
We haven't had that lately. So here you are as an entrepreneur creating a solution to, I guess, a problem in our modern world. I find that really admirable. Again, I thank you about it. But let's kind of go through now the process of oxygenating the water and structuring it
Well,
this way.
what's interesting about our water is we actually start with municipal water. We're actually, we have a bottling plant in Carpinteria, which is just outside of Montecito. And So we're starting with some pretty gnarly water. The source water in California is some of the worst in the country.
Wow, I know.
So I've been in this industry 35 years, and one thing I know how to do is purify water. So we do it really well. So I'm actually proud of the fact that we take this nasty, gnarly water that's really good for nothing.
Right.
I tell people the municipal water from the tap is good for one thing, and that's putting out fires.
Wow.
Other than that, you don't want to drink it. Your pets don't. I see people giving tap water to the pets. I'm going, what are you thinking?
And the pets are loathing to drink from that too.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
they don't like it. If you put a bowl of Ophora water and tap water on the floor,
Oh boy.
they go right to the Ophora water.
Oh boy, that'd be a cool test
They're
to do.
intuitive. We've done it. So
And you store it in glass. That's crucial.
only in glass. So again, water in its pure, you're gonna hear me say this over and over, water in its purest form absorbs anything it comes in contact with. And I've been the lone wolf for almost 50 years telling people don't drink out of plastic.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you think about it, all the water that's in all that plastic is tap water. It's basically it's RO water. It's pretty pure water. So that water is literally sucking the toxins out of the plastic, and
Because it wants
you're
to.
drinking that.
It's
And,
designed to. Yeah.
you know, breast cancer is epidemic today. People don't realize how bad that is. And one of the issues is that all these women that are drinking out of plastic bottled water, you're just drinking a toxic soup, and those pollutants are going to be stored somewhere in your body, your fat,
Wow.
and in a lot of cases your breast tissue. So it's an issue.
So why does it go to the breast tissue then, you think?
Because it's just a great storage place.
Yeah.
And I think again, you have to take a look at what's going on. Breast cancer is epidemic. Everybody knows somebody with breast cancer,
Mm-hmm.
and that wasn't true just 30 years ago, 40 years ago.
Yeah. And I mean, don't get me started too on proactive mastectomies. And
Yeah.
I wrote a book called Treasured Chest, which helps people to understand it's important to explant or remove breast implants and their surrounding scar tissues as well.
Oh my gosh, the
Then-
toxins.
Of course, think about now, we're happy to spend $5 on a pink ribbon, right, for breast cancer awareness. But then we're also supporting the company that's then selling a new type of cancer with the device and the reconstruction, because there is, you know, squamous cell carcinoma, anaplastic large cell lymphoma in that surrounding scar tissue now. So, I mean, that's a whole nother, you know, podcast, really.
Right.
But the women, perhaps, if they're listening and they are explantees, Ophora water would be imperative to flush.
Imperative. And the most important thing is if you love somebody, you have to educate them they can't drink out of plastic. End of story. It's all RO water, which is pure water, and it's sucking all the toxins.
What about cooking, Ken? How do you cook with Ophora water?
Well, with purified water, for sure. Again, you know, you don't want to use tap water to cook with. I mean, it's loaded with chemicals. The hardest thing to remove from the municipal water, frankly, is the pharmaceuticals.
Wow.
We live in a country that is, you know, overrun with pharmaceutical drugs. They end up in the toilet and they end up in our drinking water. So,
Oh my goodness.
there's just, and when you mix all, you know, I tell people, you know, you're bathing in my testosterone and I'm bathing in your hormones. So, I
Yeah.
mean,
And and other people's like birth control and all sorts of
that's
things
right, all
like that.
kinds of things.
I mean, when you really break it down like that, most people don't think about it because they think, oh, the council would never do anything like that to us, you know, but they do what they have to do to provide a certain thing. I'm just wondering why California is the worst, like,
Well,
water.
it's the population. We live in such a, you know, the population in California is primarily on the coast. So the density is just so intense. And, you know, how do you deal with all that sewage? And it ends up in the water. It's in the groundwater. Used to be well water was considered some of the best drinking water. That's not true anymore. Actually, the municipal water is better than the well water because the groundwater has just been ruined with pesticides and chemicals and everything else that's.
I'd love you to have a conversation with HHS Secretary RFK Jr.
Yes,
He obviously
getting close.
good because and we're putting it out there now on the Well to Do podcast because he's made himself known as an environmental attorney, if you like, with the Hudson River and the cleanup and what happened there. So, I mean, California's not too dissimilar to that story if you think about it.
No, not at all. The water here, you know, the water's just polluted. I mean.
Well, if he's listening, hopefully he'll start taking action. And if you're
Yeah.
listening, then maybe
Well,
you'll
it
pass
can
this
only
on.
get better.
That's
So,
right. That's right.
yeah.
You know, when you have somebody that is looking after the health of our country and, you know, making America healthy again, it really starts from water and air.
Yes.
So, I mean, this is a huge environmental health issue, not just a personal, you know, hydration issue, isn't it?
Right. It's a big deal, and along with, you know, getting movement and eating clean and just doing all the right things so that you know, there's a lot we can do and there's a lot we can't do. So we just have to concentrate on what we can do.
And what are you doing? You've got the spa, you've got the water. Any other secrets that you've got? You said it can
Well,
help with eyesight.
yeah. So
What do you got?
so I'm really an inventor, and I love this water because so I've got these Ophora water eye drops, which
Oh, what?
in my age, when you get older, you start having dry eyes.
Yeah.
So this water is amazing for your eyesight.
So you're saying that this is the same Ophora water, but it's in an eyedropper, and
I
we
basically filled my eyedropper with some of our bottled
stop
water
it.
today.
That's fantastic.
It is amazing in terms of um, our new co-CEO actually swears that his eyesight's improved, and he's been with us now about 2 months. And
What about, you know, there's trends on TikTok and everything where people are waking up in the morning and bathing their face in like an ice bath bowl of water. Imagine that's kind of the same thing if you put your face in there, but you kept your eyes open, right?
yeah,
Just keep your eyes open in this Sephora water.
yeah. So when I'm in our hyperoxygenated spa, I'm generally I try and be in under the water as much as possible.
And you open your eyes in there?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's
So
fantastic. I love it.
yeah.
Look, the closest experience I've had to that was when I went to the Dead Sea in Israel once, and I didn't realize you couldn't put your, you know, face under. And
No.
I tried to like dive in the way you normally would, and
Yeah.
my body just kind of skimmed across the top
Yeah,
of it.
yeah.
But then the water got in my eyes, and
Oh my
I
gosh.
stood up screaming. And I remember everybody grabbed me to the outdoor showers, and I thought, for sure, when I go to the bathroom and look at my eyes in the mirror, they're going to
Yeah.
be bloodshot red because it was so painful at the time.
Right.
They were crystal white.
Wow.
They were like fantastic from all the minerals and the purity of the water. So I'm going to try this because I would really like to see how, you know,
Definitely.
how that can improve my eyesight. And anyone else who's got brain fog, digestive issues, you know, toxicity in their body, you know, eyesight challenges and all these different things can definitely probably start to heal from Ophora water, just doing that one simple thing, right?
For sure. So, you know, water again is a universal solvent. It can cure and fix a lot of things, especially if it's pure.
Fantastic. Well, let's order a case. Tell us where it is on your website and all that.
So, ophorawater.com is where you would go. What's unique about Ophora is not only do we bottle this really great water, but we also manufacture and sell the systems that make this water.
Right.
So that you can actually put this underneath your counter and produce this water right at your own home.
Underneath the sink. You can have it at home.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, we all need one of those in our home.
Yes.
And for those listening, it's spelled Ophora.com.
That is correct.
Thank you so much for joining us, Ken.
All right. I've enjoyed being here. Thank you.
Oh, we just love learning on Well To Do. Make sure you follow Ophora Water on Instagram as well. Slide into their DMs and ask all the questions, or share the Well To Do podcast and leave us a comment if you loved this episode.